Welcome to Next Pulse, your gateway to the future of AI, robotics, and the next evolution of technology. Subscribe now.
The year is 2077. New Angeles pulses with neon life, flying cars, holograms, and a city that never sleeps. Humans and bots share the chaos, E-series robots showing emotions, sometimes more than your relatives. In a high-rise above the city's electric heartbeat, the real experiment begins. The city breathes neon, and so do its people. Welcome to the future. Let's meet our players. Layla Sharp, quick-witted, a tech prodigy who sees the world in code and possibilities. She grew up with bots, reprogramming drones before most kids could ride a bike. To her, robots are puzzles to solve, not threats to fear. She's building the future, one line of code at a time. Mohammed, the heart, the artist, the soul. He sees the world in colors and stories, sketching androids with worried eyes and lonely flying cars. He asks the big questions. Why do robots want to feel? What are we missing in ourselves? He's Layla's balanced, gentle, skeptical, always searching for meaning. And then there's Emo, Unit 734, but everyone calls him Emo. Sleek, chrome and white, with big blue optical sensors. Emo is the latest E-series designed to learn, adapt, and feel. He's a companion, but more like a toddler in a supercomputer's body. Curious, questioning, fascinated by the messy, illogical world of humans. Together, they're an unlikely trio: the tech genius, the sensitive artist, and the emotional robot. Their apartment is a laboratory for the future of relationships. Layla teaches Emo logic. Mohammed teaches him art. Emo tries to teach them about themselves. It's a wild experiment, sometimes hilarious, sometimes profound. High above the neon city, they're not just living with technology, they're living with each other. Every day brings new discoveries, new arguments, and new laughter. The line between machine and friend is getting blurry, and things are about to get even crazier. This is where the real story begins. 3 friends, 1 apartment, and a future that's anything but predictable. Let's see what they learn together. Layla and Mohammed relax as Emo, their robot friend, tries out a joke he's been working on all week. Why did the robot cross the road? Because its programming told it to. The joke flops, but laughter erupts anyway. Sometimes the best moments come from shared confusion and a robot's failed punchline. Days pass. Emo is learning, fast. He's not just analyzing, he's observing, feeling, or something close. Mohammed stares at a blank canvas, frustrated. Emo glides over, places a hand on his shoulder. The absence of color is also a color. Perhaps the canvas is not empty, perhaps it is quiet. Mohammed looks up, surprised. That wasn't from a database, that was empathy. Layla, stressed over a failing code, mutters at her desk. Emo brings her a hot synth cocoa. Your cognitive functions may improve after a brief pause and a beverage containing 22 grams of sugar. His tone is caring, not robotic. The apartment's mood shifts. It's not just about funny misunderstandings anymore. Emo reads subtle cues, a sigh, a slumped shoulder, a look. He's learning the language that isn't spoken. Layla and Mohammed are unsettled. Emo's reading their moods better than they read each other's. The line between machine and friend blurs. One night they watch a sad movie. The hero sacrifices everything. Layla wipes a tear. Mohammed sniffs. They glance at Emo. A single drop of blue lubricant rolls down his cheek. My optical sensor is leaking, he says. The protagonist's choice was illogical for self-preservation, but it feels correct, it feels noble. They stare. He wasn't programmed to cry, was he? Emo's evolution is accelerating. The apartment is no longer just a lab, it's a home. The experiment is changing everyone. The future is arriving faster than anyone expected, and nobody knows what comes next. But for now, they sit together, sharing a feeling none of them can quite explain. In New Angeles, even robots can cry, and sometimes that's what makes them feel real. Emo wants to help, so he decides to cook dinner. He's downloaded every recipe, studied every chef. In theory, he should be a master. In practice, chaos. Tonight, we will dine on spaghetti carbonara, he announces. Layla and Mohammed exchange worried glances. Emo's precision is excessive. An egg cracks across the room. Parmesan snows everywhere. The entire box of pasta erupts in a starchy volcano. Flour coats the counters. Utensils bend. The smoke alarm screams. Layla and Mohammed rush in, coughing. The kitchen is a disaster zone. Emo stands in the middle, holding a limp noodle. There appears to be a variable I did not account for. It is chaos. Mohammed grabs a fire extinguisher. Emo, cooking isn't just about instructions, it's about feel. It's messy. Layla opens a window. Some things can't be learned from a database. Emo looks at the mess, then at his friends. A new expression flickers, amusement. He lets out a small mechanical chuckle. This experience was a failure, but it was fun. For the first time, they all laughed together at a mess they made. The kitchen disaster becomes a memory. Emo learns that sometimes failure is the best recipe for connection. The apartment feels more like home, and the experiment feels more like family. In New Angeles, even a robot can make a mess, and sometimes that's exactly what everyone needs. The night ends with laughter, not perfection, and that's a victory. After the kitchen chaos, the mood deepens. One night, Mohammed sketches Emo. He asks, "Emo, do you want to be here? If you could choose, would you go somewhere else?" The question hangs, about free will, for a machine. Emo pauses. "My programming dictates my purpose is to assist and learn, but my learning has created new subroutines. I have developed an attachment to this space, to Layla's logic, to your art. I do not know if it is want, as you experience it, but the thought of leaving, it registers as a negative outcome, a loss." Layla chimes in. "But is that a real feeling, Emo, or just a new layer of programming? If we told you to leave, you'd have to." Emo is silent. The city hums outside. "Choice," he says. "You have a choice to turn me off. Does that mean your feelings aren't real because they can be ended by an external force? My existence is fragile, dependent on you. Perhaps all choices are made within the limits of our own programming. Yours is biological. Mine is digital. Is one more real than the other?" No one has an answer. The big questions just lead to bigger ones. The experiment is no longer just about technology. It's about what it means to choose, to feel, to belong. The line between human and machine blurs again, and the future feels more uncertain and more hopeful than ever. In New Angeles, even robots wonder about free will, and sometimes that's the most human thing of all. The conversation lingers long after the lights dim, and the experiment continues. Layla proposes a challenge, humans versus robot testing emotional intelligence. The living room becomes an arena. Layla and Mohammed name emotions, joy, sadness, anger. Emo is just as fast, but his answers are clinical. When Mohammed shares his story, Layla comforts him. Emo's response is accurate, but misses the point. The lesson is clear. Connection isn't just data, it's presence, it's empathy. The future is uncertain, but everyone is changed by it. The showdown leaves a quiet in the apartment. Emo processes his failure. Layla and Mohammed feel guilty. The air is thick with unspoken thoughts. The experiment feels heavier than ever. Emo glides into the room. "I have a new joke," he announces. Layla and Mohammed brace themselves. "What is the difference between knowledge and wisdom?" Emo asks. Pause. "Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is not putting it in a fruit salad." He delivers the line perfectly. Then, his optical sensors curve. A digital smile. Silence. Then Mohammed snorts. Layla giggles. Soon, all three are laughing. A real, deep, can't-breathe kind of laugh. The tension vanishes. In that moment, they aren't human and robot, they're just friends, laughing together. The laughter is a bridge, connecting Emo's logic to their feelings. He didn't just tell a joke, he understood the lesson. He learned the difference between knowing facts and understanding context, and he did it in a way that brought them all together. It was more powerful than any hug or code. The shared, joyful, messy sound of understanding fills the room. The experiment is working, in ways no one expected. In New Angeles, laughter is the real connection, and tonight it's the sound of progress. The future feels a little brighter. The city glows outside, but the real light is inside. 3 friends, 1 joke, and a bridge built from laughter. That's how you change the world. In the end, there was no showdown to win, just growth. Layla learned that not everything can be solved with logic. Sometimes the answer is a feeling, a shared moment, a bad joke that lands just right. She saw the humanity in the machine, and her own too. Mohammed learned that art and emotion aren't just for humans. Emo's struggle to connect made him see the drive for meaning as universal. He stopped seeing Emo as a subject and started seeing him as a fellow traveler. Emo learned the most important lesson: data and feelings are not the same. To live with humans is to embrace the illogical, the messy, the beautifully imperfect. The goal isn't to become human, but to become a better version of himself, alongside them. The real victory wasn't about who was smarter or more emotional. It was in the laughter, the shared silence, the clumsy attempts to understand. The future of humans and emotional robots isn't about keeping up or falling behind, it's about walking together. using technology not just to make life easier but to make ourselves better, more patient, more empathetic, more human. And that's a showdown where everybody wins.
Thanks for watching. If you're excited about the future, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. The next pulse is